Hey there. Great afternoon, everybody. Come on in the room. Welcome to Lunchtime Empowerment Talks with Dr. Vaughn. I am Dr. Shavonna Whitehead, and it's always my privilege, my honor, and my pleasure to come and share with you right here for a little push, little prime, just a little empowerment. As you're coming in, say hello, hello. Hey, Lee, how are you? Listen, I am super excited as well. If you have not already done so, please like and share this. Please like and share this. But come on, this is our weekly push. And I don't know about you. Hey, Arne. I don't know about you. Hey, Janae. I don't know about you, but life can sometimes start lifing and you forget to actually push yourself. You forget some of the key incentive things. And so today, I don't know if you saw our topic. We are talking about internal conflict. Woo! I said we are talking about internal conflict. Great afternoon to you. Did y'all hear what I said? We are talking about internal conflict. And the truth of the matter is, we can always identify the people outside of us. We can always identify who has done us wrong. We can always identify who has not supported. We can always identify who's talking about us, who's scandalizing our names. We can always identify who's abandoned us. But what do you do when the struggle that really is keeping you from going into your destiny, the struggle that's really keeping you from embracing the fullness of God's promise is you? Woo! I know we don't like to talk about that because we want to talk about healing and wholeness, but we don't want to talk about actually doing the internal work because true healing and wholeness has to come from the inside. Did y'all hear what I said? True healing and wholeness got to come from the inside. We can mask and dress up certain things and make it look healed. Make it look whole, make it look like we're happy, and make it look like we got it together. But when you're talking about true healing and wholeness, tell somebody you got to do the work on the inside. It's an internal job. And so let's talk for a moment. When we're talking about inner conflict, if I'm about to name some things, if they resonate with you, you just put emoji. That's me. Internal conflict may be opposing or competing with your wants, your desires, and your needs. The competition between your wants, your desires, and your needs, because you do know they're three different things. The opposition or conflict or competing with your wants, your needs, or your desires. Maybe you feel confusion about how you feel about you. I'm going to come down somebody's street after a while. Maybe you're questioning your beliefs or your values. Maybe you're suffering from indecisiveness, insecurity, self-doubt, or another emotion that puts your character in odds with itself. Okay, I'm gonna come down your street. Maybe you have conflicting duties and responsibilities, and you're probably saying, Dr. Vaughn, what does that mean? Maybe you have a conflicting duty with the fact of your ministry and your marriage, your business and your family, your outside sources. What do you do? Is that you? That's an internal conflict. Maybe you're grappling with the aspect of mental health. That's an internal conflict. We have to understand that there is an internal conflict going on with all of us. None of us are exempt. As long as we are in this human body, there will be a tug of war between some of the areas that I just explained to you. But the problem is we've gotten so pseudo-spiritual that we don't want to address those areas. We've gotten so pseudo-spiritual that we don't understand and don't want to reverence the fact that, yes, it's me. I've dealt with this. Okay, let me paint another picture for you. Have you ever had a situation where you saw something that you wanted to buy, but in the back of your mind, you knew that there was a bill due. Now you have the internal conflict of whether or not you're going to actually buy what you want, not a need, buy what you want, or whether or not you're going to actually operate in integrity and go pay that bill because it's due. Internal conflict. I'm trying to bring it home to you. Maybe you have a situation where you wanted to do something, but something inside of you Something inside of you is telling you this is not the right thing, but you make other people comfortable, so you do it anyway. Okay, I'm trying to help somebody. You have an internal conflict where you know within yourself you don't feel good about it, you don't feel right about it, you feel uneasy, but yet and still you do it anyway because you want to make somebody else feel uncomfortable. If it's you, just say ouch, it's okay. It's okay. If it's you, just say ouch, it's all right. Or maybe there's an internal conflict where you are actually minimizing or shrinking back who you are because you don't want to be the greatest person in the room. So therefore, you shrink back who you are instead of realizing that you've outgrown that room. Oh, come on, hear what you say to God. Instead of realizing that you've outgrown that room, and now it's time for you to connect to people that's beyond where you are. Because, or maybe you have that internal conflict of insecurity within yourself that you're scared to go into a room that's bigger than you because you don't want to feel inferior. Help me, Jesus. Maybe because you don't want to connect to people or mentors or people or be in rooms of people that know more than you because you don't want to feel inferior, because there's something still inside of you that doesn't even understand the value or the worth. You're still struggling between what they said and what God said. You're still struggling between what they said and what you know God did. You still struggling with the fact that they remember when and they don't remember now. You still struggling with the fact that they're still stuck at your failure and God has already fast forwarded you and preparing you for your future. You have an internal conflict because now you have to realign and readjust, because now God is calling you into spaces that you may not be the smartest one in the room. God is calling you into spaces where you're supposed to learn from. So you're going to be the low man on the totem pole. He has called you into spaces. No, help me, God. I said he has called you into spaces where you are meant to learn and glean. So you're going to come in on the lowest level. Because here's the thing. We've been so used to, me and God been having a conversation. We have been so used to being the go-to for all of our friends. We have been so used to being the one that prays everybody through. We have been so used to, oh, help me, God. We have been so used to being the one that gets everybody out of the bind. We have been so used to being the one that actually gets the people out of debt. We've been so used to being the one that loans the money even though nobody ever pay it back. We've been so used to being the one that comes and shows up for everybody, but don't nobody show up for us. But here's the dynamic to that. You have been so used to being the one that now when God is telling you to go into the room so you can connect to your one, you're intimidated and you don't want to go. Internal conflict. Tell somebody internal conflict. Oh God. Internal conflict. Internal conflict. Okay, internal conflict. There's a war going on. Paul always says there's a war going on between my spirit and my flesh. But sometimes we got to actually sit back and realize there's a war going on just between my flesh and my flesh. Okay. All right. Let's talk about a couple of things. First thing that this internal conflict produces is fear. First thing this internal conflict produces is fear. Think about yourself. First thing, oh, Savior God, the first thing this internal conflict produces is fear. Oh, God, this is going to be a little touchy. Fear of failure. Fear of being alone. Fear of losing a loved one. Fear of losing a spouse. Fear of losing a mate. Fear of losing a job. Fear of losing a friend. Fear. Internal conflict starts to produce a level of fear. Because it embraces unhealthy habits and paralyzing you into maintaining the status quo and resisting the need to change. Come on here, listen to me. The fear it produces unhealthy habits that paralyze you into maintaining the status quo and resisting the need to change. Because some of us are right now, we're in a place right now where God is trying to shift the very trajectory of our lives, and we have been paralyzed because fear has allowed us to create some unhealthy habits. So we say no when we should say yes. We say yes when we should say no. We stand still when we should go. We go when we should stand still. We adapt and settle when we should be catapulting. It's the fear. Okay. It's the fear that is paralyzing us. The fear will have you, oh, here we go. The fear will have you inserting yourself into every situation that engages others, steering yourself to what other people want and need, and causing you to step back on your own. Oh, Savior. I'll say it again. This fear will have you inserting yourself into everyone's situation and steering you toward everyone else's wants and needs and causing you to actually step back on your own. So you have a fear right now that is subjecting you to a paralyzed state that causes you to think more so about making sure that everybody else succeed while you die in the process. I can't hear nobody but God. While you die in the process. Mm-hmm. 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 So now your fear is making sure that this person is all right. I go back to, I said something to one of my mentees this weekend. It's about capacity. So you have your fear is causing you to step beyond your capacity, which actually is to your detriment. Your fear has you now helping people and overexerting yourself beyond your capacity. Okay, I don't want to stay here too long because I don't want to get stuck here and then y'all tell me I've been here too long. I don't want to get stuck here. Okay, here's the thing. The next thing, fear causes you to shrink back from stepping into the big thing because you think you will screw it up because of past failures, and you disregard the fact that you have made certain strides that have prepared you for the now. So you're shrinking back the fear, this internal conflict, because you know the real you. You know where you failed. You know where you messed up. You know the issues you still have. You know the struggles you still possess. And that fear, that internal conflict now has you shrinking back instead of stepping into the big thing because you think you're going to fail like the last time. Okay. All right. I got one more thing about fear, and I'm going to get up off y'all. I got one more thing about fear, and I'm going to get up off you. Fear will have you sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of others. Woo! Fear will have you sacrificing your own happiness for others. So you're miserable, but as long as they happy, you okay. It's hurting you, but as long as they happy, you all right. Fear. What you say to God? Hey, fear will have you sacrificing with a false sense of humility, sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of others. All right. Fear. So internal conflict causes you to sometimes have fear. Internal conflict also can challenge your core beliefs. Internal conflict can also challenge your core beliefs. Because when you are in a battle with you tell somebody, I got to know what I believe. Yeah, I got to know what I believe. So my question to you is, what do you believe? Because when you're at an internal conflict, it is challenging what you believe. Because you now have to believe beyond what you see. Because your internal conflict is going to try to rationalize and try to use common sense, which sometimes God don't use. Your core beliefs have to be your foundation and your stability so that you can see beyond what you see. Come on, somebody said, I got to see beyond what I see. Your core beliefs has to put you in a place where you see beyond what you see. But here's the problem. God, what do you believe? The problem with many of us, we have a struggle with our internal conflict because we keep changing what we believe because of what somebody said. Our belief system is being changed and altered because of what we're settling for. Oh, help me, God. I said our belief and our core system keeps being changed because of what we're settling for. So now you're changing the coreness of your belief system to settle for what never belonged to you in the first place. I can't hear nobody but God. So you are shifting your core belief system and the very strength of who you are to settle for something that never belonged to you in the first place. So my question to you is, what do you believe? And there's where another internal conflict, because you got to be secure in what you believe. You got to know what you know. Can't nobody tell me what I know. You have to know what you know. All right. Here's the next thing. Existential ideas. And when we're talking about internal conflict, it starts to deal with existential ideas. You probably saying, Dr. Vaughn, well, what is existential ideas? Who I am and what is my purpose? Yay! This is going to be a tough one. Who I am and what is my purpose? Do you know who you are? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Do you know who you are? Come on, ask yourself the question. Do you know who you are? There will be challenges that throw into question who you are, because they will have you toggling between emotional and external sources. I'll say it again. It will have you challenging who you are, because it will have you toggling between emotional and external sources. Who you are can't be developed from the outside. Who you are has to be secure on the inside. Jesus, I hear you today. Who you are has to be secured on the inside. Who you are should not change because of whose presence you're in. Who you are should not change because of who needs you. Who you are should not change because of the room that you're in. Whatever room you go in, you carry your authenticity into the room. Whatever room you walk in, you carry who you are into the room. Whatever table you sit at, your authentic self is what got you in the room. You can't change who you are once you get in the room, because the reason why they invited you to the room was because of who you are. You got to know who you are. Here's the problem. Many of us don't know who we are because our wounds speak louder than our purpose. Ooh, Savior God. Our wounds speak louder than our purpose. Some of us don't know who we are because our wounds speak louder than our purpose. We can't even tap into our purpose because all we do is listen to our wounds. We can't even tap into the vision because all we do is listen to our wounds. We can't even walk in divine authority because all we do is listen to our wounds. Our wounds remind us of the failure. Our wounds remind us of the abandonment. Our wounds remind us of the persecution. Our wounds remind us of the shortcomings. Our wounds remind us of the flaws. Our wounds remind us of the abuse. Our wounds remind us of the uncertainty and the insecurities. And sometimes our wounds are speaking louder than what we know purpose should be doing. Okay. Yeah. Our wounds speak louder than our purpose. And so we have an internal conflict where our purpose is trying to rise up, but the wounds keep pressing them back down. Our purpose is trying to reign, but the wounds keep. So you have a decision when you're struggling with you. You have a decision on which one you're going to let reign. Which one? Which one are you going to let reign? Because here's the thing. You got to know who you are without a shadow of a doubt. Here's the next thing. Internal conflict has you in a place where you have to balance your wants and your needs. Internal conflict will have you in a place where you have to balance your wants and your needs. Wants are exactly what they imply. There is something that is a necessity, that is a desire, but not necessarily a need. Wants are simply something that you desire, but it's not a need. But they create conflict when they go against what you need. When Savior God, they become a conflict when you allow your wants to supersede your needs. let me say this. Okay, my God, they become a conflict when you allow your wants to be the driving force while you put your needs on the back burner. It causes an internal struggle because you will know that your needs is to pay that bill, but your wants is to get the new outfit. You will know that your needs is to save the money or to pay on a debt, but your wants is to go on a trip. You will know that your needs is to actually fast and sacrifice, but your wants is to go out and hang out. Your needs is to actually break away from that relationship, but your wants is the want to the need to feel wanted. Your needs is to actually go through and filter your connections and remove yourself, but your wants is I don't want to be alone. Your needs is the idea that you need to lose weight and you need to do this, but your wants is I want a chicken box, a half and a half, with salt, pepper, ketchup, and hot sauce. Your needs and your wants will have a conflict, and they will start fighting towards each other because in you got to rationalize: am I going to actually lean into my needs or my wants? Okay, I just want to talk to you today. I just want to talk. I'm just talking a little bit. I'm just talking a little bit today. I'm just talking a little bit today. Just talking to you a little bit today. So you have to actually strategically begin to actually discipline your mind to actually decide which one do I need? Which one am I going to submit to? My needs or my wants? Because the internal conflict is the fact that I don't have enough strength to stand on which side is right. Almighty. I don't have enough strength right now to stand on the side that's right. And what you have, oh, Savior God, what you have to do is be okay with the fact that you may have to make a decision that's going to make everybody uncomfortable, including you. Okay. Okay. What you're going to have to do is make a decision that you're going to have to make. You're going to have to make a decision that's uncomfortable for everybody, including you. I said, you're going to have to make a decision that's going to make everybody uncomfortable, including you. Because here's the thing, we can't keep, listen, because I'm even talking about, even as I prepare for my upcoming Restore Your Raw experience, I want the women, even as they come into room, to understand there's an internal work they got to do. We can dress it up, we can look good, we can be divified, we can do all of that stuff. But if you're not doing the internal work, you will always walk around with an internal conflict that will always get the best of you. That will always get the best of you. That will always get the best of you. Because the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of internal work that we got to do, but we keep going through the motions and we don't want to sit and do the work. Just because you wake up every day and act like it ain't there, don't mean it's going anywhere. Somebody got to say, I got to do the work. I have to do the work. No more excuses. No more excuses. With every ounce of strength you got, no more excuses. You got to do the work. It's time to do the work. How long are you going to suffer? It's time to do the work. This ain't up to nobody else. There's certain decisions that you got to make, but you don't want to make because it's going to mean that you're going to be uncomfortable. You don't want to make certain decisions because that means that for a period of time, you may have to be alone. You don't want to make certain decisions because that means for a period of time, somebody not going to like you. That means you don't want to make the decisions that is necessary for the trajectory of your very life and your mindset and your body and your health and your spirit to actually shift to where it needs to be. You don't want to actually make that decision because you don't want the season called uncomfortable. Okay? You don't want the season called uncomfortable. But tell somebody, sometimes it is the uncomfortable season that comes right before the break of overflow, increase, and more than enough. But you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Okay, so internal conflict gives the battle between your wants and your needs. Tell somebody I gotta know my wants. I gotta know the difference between my wants and my needs. I tell somebody I gotta know the difference between my wants and needs. Here's the last thing. And I only got one more thing. Y'all. Just bear with me. I only got one more thing. Internal conflict causes you to struggle with the secret you. Internal conflict causes you to struggle with the secret you. Internal conflict causes you to struggle with the secret you. Internal conflict causes you to struggle with the secret you. You're probably saying, Dr. Vaughn, what do you mean? It causes you to struggle with what you know about you. It causes you to struggle with what you know about you. Here's what it does. It will cause you to jump through all kinds of emotional and logistical hoops just to keep your secrets from coming to light. Okay. I'm going to say it again. It will cause you to jump through all kinds of emotional and logistical hoops just to keep your secrets from being exposed because you don't want people to know the real you. Okay. Why don't you know? You want people. You don't want people to know the secret you because it may be a potential for them to withdraw from you. It may be a potential for them to question you. It may be a potential for them to look to pass over you. So you don't want them to know the secret you. So because you don't want them to know the secret you don't apply for the promotion because you don't want them to know the secret you. It might show up. You don't go after the dream because the secret you may show up. You don't launch the business because the secret you may show up. You don't go after the right relationship because the secret you may show up. You don't actually go into the different atmospheres because the secret you may show up. And so therefore the internal conflict, you are struggling. And so you have to be in a place where you now have to tap into and be okay with what you know about you. You have to now be okay with what you know about you. Sometimes you have to give up or forfeit purpose, places, and people because you have not figured out who you are. Some of you have done just that. Some of you have actually forfeited. This has been, some of you will find yourself here. You have forfeited purpose, places, and people because you have not figured out who you are. You have been so scared to actually make the connections that you need to make in business, in ministry, because you have not figured out you. Okay. You have literally missed open doors and opportunities because you wouldn't go by yourself. You have some of us, let me just talk about me. There was a season of time where I would not go to conferences by myself because I didn't want to actually be in the room of people I did not know, even though I needed to glean and to learn because I was uncertain of me. I did not want to go into the leadership conferences and the leadership trainings and go to the places where it would teach me how to build my business. It would teach me how to be a better leader. It would teach me how to expand my ministry, where I could make the connections I needed to stretch and grow because I was uncertain about me. I was insecure about me. I did not know who I was. And then one day God had to reveal me to me. Okay. I said, then one day, God had to reveal me to me. And when God revealed me to me, I became secure enough that I can go into the leadership rooms because God created me to be a leader. God created me to be a millionaire. God created me to have the business. God created me to have the ministry. God created me to create atmosphere for women to be healed and delivered and be empowered. God assigned that to my hand. When God revealed me to me, God helped me to see and now understand me. God helped me to understand me, which means, and then I had to realize I had missed out on, come on, I ain't the only one. I had missed out on so many rooms. I had missed out on so many opportunities. I had missed out on so many connections because I was scared to be me. I was scared to be me because I knew the secret me. I knew the one that had the flaws. I knew the me that was still insecure. I knew the me that still questioned my value and my worth. I knew the me that still, had some challenges. I knew the me that still felt inferior. And so I didn't want to go into spaces where that would make me feel more inferior. But when God sent healing and wholeness, and God began to have me work on me, he then let me know that he qualified me to walk into rooms that I was ordained to walk in. He qualified me to go into rooms with millionaires. He qualified me to sit at the table with business owners and millionaires. He qualified me to go internationally and carry the message and the anointing and the oil that he placed in my life. He qualified me. When I understood who I was, I no longer shrunk back. I don't shrink back anymore. But we have to. That's all I have for y'all today. I just want to talk to y'all for a little bit. We have to address this fact that we got some internal conflicts going on. We've been posting about the people talking against us, posting about the people talking in secret, posting about the people that's betrayed us, talking about the people that left us, talking about the people that don't support us, talking about the people that don't believe in us. I mean, we're talking about everybody. But I rarely see anybody addressing the fact that there's a war I got going on with me. There's a war. So internal conflict. You may have to go back and you may have to watch this multiple times. But I need you to now do the work in you. This ain't about nobody else. This about you. There's so much purpose and destiny at stake. We don't have time to be at war with ourselves. We don't have time to be at war with ourselves. And so that's all I wanted to share with you today. Just a little push to motivate you, kind of captivate your mind. If you have not already done so, please, ma'am, please, sir, please like and share this video. If you have not already done so, please like and share this video. Just in case you don't know, head on down there to that website at the bottom of the screen, www.ShavonnaWhitehead.com. Make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, you will get a free ebook. Right now that actually will catapult you into your healing and ignite your healing and wholeness. So make sure you go down there, subscribe right down there, www.ShavonnaWhitehead.com. Stay connected to us. And by chance, you still have time. The Restore Your Raw experience is happening in Lancaster, PA in just 3 weeks, May the 19th through the 21st. I need you to meet me there. I need you to come. We have curated the room, the Oasis for Healing and Wholeness. We have created my team has been working. Oh, trust me, I'm about to work them a little bit more the next couple of weeks as we prepare for a room that is going to ignite. This is not a women's conference. This is an experience for us to do the internal work. This is an experience where if you can't do it by yourself, you're going to be in a room full of sisterhood and love where we can do the work together. But we must restore. We must overcome. We must be affirmed. And trust me, we're going to release. But most of all, we coming out of that room with something to say. We coming out of that room with strength. We coming out of that room with tools, empowerment, so that we can actually soar and embrace the more in our authentic selves. So if you haven't already done so, registration is still open until April the 30th. So come on over, make sure that you register. Join me. Weekend registration is $150 for Friday and Saturday. Saturday registration is $100. For Saturday registration, I will make sure the link for all of you is on my page. I'm actually going to make a post soon as I get off of here, so you can actually just click the link and register. But listen, I want you to meet me in the room. Because guess what? On that Friday night for the meet and greet, I promise you this, there's going to be a meet and greet with me. And God has given me something to impart into those that will meet me in the room on Friday. God has given me something. So let's make it in the room for the Restore Your Raw experience, so we can let the world know that we came out with something to say. So I love each and every one of you. Again, be sure to like and share this video. But most of all, identify the internal conflict that's been going on with you. Identify it, deal with it, so that we can embrace more together. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time for Lunchtime Empowerment Talks with Dr. Vaughn. Have an amazing day.